A final from Houston. Cougars win at 76-66, a 10-point win. We're looking for a 12-point win. They had a chance to cover. They did not. Got a rebound at the end of the game, dribbled out the clock. So it's Wichita State plus 11.5 if you were interested in those kind of things. I was very much interested in that. Also, an interesting game and a great game from Josh Carlton, the UConn transfer. Goes for 22 points, 12 rebounds, 10 of them offensive rebounds, and 4 blocks in this game to lead the way for the Cougars as they run their home winning streak to 34 in a row. All right, so welcome in CBS Sports Insider, co-host of the Eye on College Basketball podcast, Gary Parrish. The player you were looking forward to watching was Josh Carlton. He led the way for the Cougars, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. What did you see from the UConn transfer?
He's really breaking out right now. This is a guy who played 4 different seasons at UConn and at best was a useful role player. At worst, in some seasons, just a guy who played around 10, 11 minutes per game. But now, after Houston lost 2 of its top 4 scores, like we talked about pregame, the Cougars were going to need somebody to step up. And so far, Josh Carlton has been that guy. He had 30 points earlier the week at USF and then bounces back to this game. 22 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. He was efficient from the field. And, he's among the reasons that Houston should still be considered the favorite in the American Athletic Conference, even though Kelvin Sampson, again, lost 2 of his top 4 scores just before Christmas.
Yeah, Tremont Marcus Sasser out for the remainder of the season because of injuries. Gary, is Houston deep enough to make another Final Four run?
Yes. I mean, the truth is, coaches talk about depth all the time, and it's important on some level. But by the time you get to the NCAA tournament, you need 7 or 8 guys you can get through. And so, to be clear, even Kelvin Sampson would tell you this, it's not ideal to lose 2 rotation players, 2 of your best players, for the season, before the calendar flips to January. Houston will probably not be able to achieve what it was trying to achieve before they lost Trayvon Mark and Marcus Sasser. But this is still a very good basketball team, and there's still enough pieces left that are healthy that can allow them to, yes, win the AAC, yes, win the AAC tournament, and yes, advance in the bracket once again. All the way to the Final Four like last season, not sure about that, but this team is really good. And if you told me, even with a depleted roster, Kelvin had them playing in the second week of the NCAA tournament, it wouldn't be that big of a surprise.
Do you think that this year's team wouldn't, to me, like when you look back at last year, right? I thought it was a surprise Houston getting to the Final Four. It'd be a huge surprise if they got back there this year.
That's right. I mean, it wasn't like Houston was a 1 seed and a betting favorite to win the national championship or even make the Final Four. They overachieved relative to their seed, but you give them credit. The banners all hang just the same. I don't know if that was one of the 4 best teams in America last season, but it was one of the 4 teams that were left playing on the final weekend of the season. This team, again, a little less from a talent perspective than that one because of what they lost, after last season, but also what they lost last month. But, they really guard. They're efficient offensively. They offensive rebound like crazy. Like their offensive rebounding rate heading into this game ranked top 10 in America. And then against Wichita State, they missed 35 shots in the game. They offensive rebounded 17 of them. That's an offensive rebounding rate of 49%. And that's why Wichita State was fighting an uphill battle the entire time. The Shockers went down 8-0 by as many as 15. And though they did come back and cut it to 6 at one point, when you're going to allow Houston to get second chance opportunities, literally roughly half the times that it misses its initial shot, well, you're just not going to win that game.
Yeah, Josh Carlton, your guy, had 10 of those offensive rebounds for Houston. Cougars win it, improved to 9-0 at home this season, extend their home winning streak to 34 games. Gary, thanks. Appreciate the insight here on CBS Sports and Q. And for more insight from Gary, check out the Eye on College Basketball podcast, joined by Matt Norlander, delivering commentary, reporting, and insider information. They break down all the big storylines in college hoops. The Eye on College Basketball podcast. Download and subscribe today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.